everyone, this is Jennifer Stay from Coloring Pages Bliss, and welcome to video number 7 of my gel pen coloring series. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that in the description of this video is a link to my website where you can find a set of printable worksheets I have created for you to practice the tips and techniques I'm about to demonstrate. I also have weekly live coloring events on every Wednesday on my Facebook page, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and join my fun coloring community. Okay, let's get started. Okay, next to video 6, video 7 is the next one I'm most excited to video for you guys because I haven't shown this to anyone yet. So this is so exciting. I can't wait. Now, hopefully you've kept out your paintbrushes and your glycerin from video 6 because we are going to use all of those for this technique. We are going to paint with our gel pens. Oh, so fun. Okay, now there is a worksheet for this technique, and it's got lots of great ways to help you practice before you actually take this technique for a ride on your coloring pages. I'm so excited about this technique because one of the biggest problems with our gel pens is filling in large areas because they're tiny little tips and it takes forever and tons of ink to fill in these large sections, and when you paint with these gel pens, it takes care of that problem. No more worries about large sections and our gel pens. Yay! So what you are going to need is a non-porous surface to put the ink on to help with painting. Now, that's a problem because if you've ever tried to color your gel pens onto a non-porous surface, you have found that it doesn't work really well. Now, on the tip of your pen is a tiny little ball inside of there, and in order for the pen ink to flow out, you have to activate that little ball and get it rolling, and that gets the ink to start coming out. Now, when you try to move that ball on something like a non-porous surface like glass, that ball doesn't want to roll. It just sort of sits there, and once in a while it might engage and you get a little blob of ink to come out, like, oh, there we got a little bit of ink to come out, but it's inconsistent and it doesn't work great. And the same goes for plastic and several other surfaces. And so what I found, there you can see it a little better that I got some ink to come out. What I finally discovered works really great is some matte tape. Now this is by Scotch, and there's lots of other brands that make this kind of tape. Also, I found that the washi tape works really good too. But the best tape is like a matte finished Scotch type tape. And what I do is I have a piece of paper, a scratch card piece of paper or something to the side where I pull off a piece of tape and stick that tape down, and that becomes my non-porous surface where I can put the ink, and it comes out wonderfully onto that non-porous surface and becomes my little puddle of ink. And then all I need is my brush and my puddle of glycerin that I introduced to you in video 6 if you didn't already see that. And I have that glycerin in a little bottle with dropper, and put a couple drops into my dish so it's easy to use. And this time, because we're painting into a larger area, I'm going to use my little bit of a larger brush here than last video and fill up my brush bristles with the glycerin, and then come over here to where I put my ink on the tape, and you can just reactivate that ink with the glycerin like that. And you just pick it up into your bristles. Now I have a lot of glycerin in these bristles, so it's going to be very light, and you can see all of a sudden you can paint with your gel pens, and it goes a long ways. Of course, it will dilute the color the farther you spread it and the more glycerin you add. It's just like adding water to your watercolors. The more water you add, the wider it goes. So you want to be aware of that. Now, because we're using glycerin instead of water, we're not going to damage the surface of the paper as much. But anytime you introduce any kind of wet media to a paper, you need to be aware that there can be some damage to your paper. So as little amount of water or glycerin that you can use, the better as far as damaging the paper. And that's why I prefer to use glycerin over water for this technique. Okay, so let's practice and see what happens over here on these shapes that I've created and see what we can create. Now, this is a metallic from the Jelly Roll line, and I come over to my tape, my non-porous matte finish palette. See how easily it comes out compared to trying to draw it onto, say, a plastic or glass. Now this time, let me clean my brush off so we don't have blue on there anymore. This time I'm going to use less glycerin. First you get the bristles good and wet, and then you sort of come over to the edge of your dish and you push that off. Push all that glycerin off just so that your bristles are moist with the glycerin. And then you can pick up your ink and come over to the large area that you were afraid to color with your gel, but you wanted it to be in that same color as the other gel you were using in the rest of your coloring page. And look at that. So you still get that metallic sheen that you were using in the rest of your coloring page, and you color the area so much faster. So fun. Now let's say, oh, I want a little shading here at the base, so I'm going to bring in a little bit of blue and touch just a little bit of that glycerin. Where did it go? It's so clear in there. There it is, I found it. And don't want a lot, just a little bit. Pick up that blue. And look at that. You can create shading. You get kind of a watercolor effect doing it this way with your gel pens. And like I said, the fun thing is you're using the same shade as what you may have been using in the rest of your coloring page. Okay, so now you have seen it, the power of painting with our gel pens. Like I said, what I like most about it is the ability to cover large areas quickly with very little gel. And all we need is a little glycerin in our paintbrushes and of course a non-porous surface, which in this case we're using our tape. So much fun. So we have one video left, that's video 8, where we're going to talk about those pesky two friends that don't like working together, which are the gel pens and the colored pencils. So join me on video 8. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to hit that like button and leave me a quick comment. What do you think of painting with gel pens? Are you as excited as I am about this? So much fun. I can't wait to share with you my last thoughts and my last tips on video 8. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.